Hi guys, welcome back to Style with Substance and welcome to the second video in my series Black Boy Joy. So as I mentioned in the first video, I am essentially interviewing young male black entrepreneurs and business people and really trying to get to grips with their journey and find out the secret to their success. So today is no different. I'm joined by my good friend Gavin Cameron.
How you doing? You alright?
Good, good. Thanks for being on. Thanks for joining
My pleasure.
us.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to be talking a little bit about how to buy a car the smart way. And I know that my audience is predominantly female. So while I don't want to completely rule out the guys, I know that this one will be a really good one for the ladies who, you know, want to get their hands on a nice motor, but want to figure out what's the best way to do it for them. So before we launch into that, I'm going to get you, Gavin, to introduce yourself, tell everybody a bit about what you do, how many years of experience you've got, and then we can kind of get into the questions.
Cool. So yeah, I'm Gavin Cameron, co-founder and managing director of the Car Buying Guru. What the Car Buying Guru is essentially is a car finance brokerage, but with a difference. We've got a slogan: we don't just sell cars, we fix problems. So basically what we do, we assist people in the journey of buying a vehicle. So if you ever bought a home before and obviously you had a mortgage advisor who helped you with that side of the process, we're like the mortgage advisor of the car world.
Okay.
And yes, I've been doing, the business has been running for about 2 years now, but I've been in the motor trade for about 6-7 years now.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
What are the first few questions you'll ask someone who's coming to you and says, I need a car?
Cool. It would be to get an idea of the size of car they want or need. I'd ask them what car they drive at the moment. I'd ask them the reasons for changing, so if they've had children or they just don't like the car anymore, etc. That would gauge me onto what to advise them into next, unless they know already. If they do know already, obviously the question would be, have you seen anything you like? How long you want to own the car for, and monthly budget, how much you want to spend per month. They're the main questions.
Okay. You mentioned monthly budget, and obviously there's a number of different ways of buying a car. Buying outright versus leasing. And now we were just talking before we turned the camera on, and I mentioned how I just bought a car outright. So from your view, when is it better to buy something and pay it all off in one go, or to lease a car?
It depends on a few things. So it depends on your circumstances, and there's no one size fits all really. Depending on the price of the car. If it's a small car that you're just sort of having for a short period of time and you got the cash, then fair enough. But if you're spending anything, I'd say around £5,000 or more, then I'd always look at a finance option, just for the way my mind works, that 5,000 plus could be done. You can do something else with it, basically.
Okay.
And then as far as the type of finance package to go for, again, that just depends on your personal situation, which is why I'd ask, how long do you want to keep the car for? Because if you're keeping it for longer term, you want to drive it into the ground, which not many people do now, then a hire purchase will be a better option. Okay. But if you're the type of person, which a lot of people are, we're in the era of a bit throwaway, like to renew, recycle, or change constantly, then leasing's better, or PCP. Okay. These are all terms people have probably heard and don't understand.
So let's go into this. So, and this is, I guess, UK audience focused. I'm sure you guys will have like a similar concept in the US. Yeah,
they've definitely got leasing in the US.
So I guess hire purchase versus PCP. What are they, and what's the difference?
Okay, so hire purchase is like a mortgage on a car. So you pay your deposit. You can sometimes do it with no deposit, and then you'll have monthly payments. And at the end of your monthly payments, which can run up to 7 years now, it used to be just 5 years, but you do see some lenders doing up to 7 years. You own the car. With a PCP, it's more designed for people that want to change their car often and want lower monthly payments. So you can still have a deposit or no deposit at the beginning. You then have some monthly payments in the middle, and at the end you have a balloon payment, which is also known as a GMFV, guaranteed minimum future value. Which is confusing because that sounds like a guaranteed minimum future value of your car, when really all it is a balloon payment, and it's just the only thing guaranteed in that number is what you're going to owe the finance company at the end.
Okay.
So I always recommend with a PCP not to go into one with the aim to own the car outright, because once you pay the balloon payment, add up your monthly payments, and if you put a deposit on it, it would have been cheaper just going on a hire purchase.
Okay, so why don't you debunk one common myth in in the car industry? Like, is there like one thought that lots of people have that is absolutely not true?
The one myth that we, as I say, people probably won't look at me as a consumer, but consumers have when going into a car dealership is that if you buy, say, a 50 grand car, that they're going to make a lot more money out of that than they would if they sold a 5 grand car. Usually it's the same, if not in some cases you can make more money as a dealership selling small £5,000 cars than you can selling loads of 50 grand cars.
Okay.
So the profit margins are pretty small in the actual cars. The money can be made more so in the car finance.
Okay.
They're selling you the additional products when they sell you Scotch Guard or different types of insurances, warranties, etc. That's where the real money's made.
Okay.
Lies that dealers tell. I'm going to lose all my dealership friends.
Just give us one.
It's not a direct lie, but one thing I would say that, especially ladies, be careful of is when you're checking your finance or they're quoting your finance. Don't be fooled when you ask for the interest rate and they tell you a flat rate. Ask for an APR.
Okay.
That's an old trick in the book, to tell you a flat rate over an APR, which I'm trying to spread the word on. But yeah, if you ask for the APR, that will give you a better idea when comparing with other loans and other finance companies. Or then you might say to them, what's the interest rate? They'll say 10%. Ask them, is that 10% flat or is that 10% APR?
Okay.
There is a massive difference, because if you ask the APR, it's on a 10% flat deal, it's probably going to be around 20% APR, which is obviously everyone knows is ridiculous. Whereas if you ask the APR, then obviously they'll tell you 20%, and then you know that it's not the best deal.
Right. So why would a dealer quote you a flat rate when they know that there's such a difference between that and what you'd be using to compare the deal you're getting anyway? Because it sounds, if they got you in a moment and it happens where everyone's happy and the payment's great and it fits the budget, so okay, actually what's the interest rate? So this is where it can all fall apart for the dealer. Okay. So if they make, in that moment before you sign a piece of paper, they make it sound decent by just saying 10%, it's a flat rate, you're probably not going to realise what you've got until you've gone away, and if you even bother, because you might spend the rest of the day thinking about your nice brand new car and telling all your friends that you've got this new car, and then you don't realise the interest rate until you're in it, basically. And when you say flat rate, so I'm not the best with numbers, I'm definitely about to expose myself here. So APR, as far as I understand, is was it annual percentage? Percentage rate. Yeah, and that's what you would use if you were comparing that loan, because essentially when you're financing a car to loan, to other loans on the market. So what would a flat rate be? So the flat rate is the percentage of interest that you're paying in total. So the APR it depends on what type of agreement you're taking out, but it tends to be based on different things like the amount you're borrowing, how long you're borrowing it for, etc. So the APR can vary, it can go up and down, but the flat rate will always be roughly the same, if that makes sense. So I mean, it gets a bit complicated, but the flat rate is more based on the actual percent of money they're slapping on top of what you're charging. But obviously, if they're slapping 10% over 2 years, then that's a lot of money to be paying on top. Whereas 10% over 5 years doesn't seem as bad. Okay. If you could change one thing about the car buying industry, and whether that's how people buy cars or how cars are sold to people, what would that be? I guess that's what I'm trying to do. That's what the whole mission with Car Buying Guru is to change people's mentality and remove that whole mystique away from the car buying process, and give people more of a clear picture of what's going on and what they should know. So things like we've written this book
called So You Want to Buy a Car, and that's purely just giving the base. It's not a novel or anything. It's a short guide to just give people the right information they need to go in and purchase a vehicle correctly.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, there's still a lot of money to be made in the industry, from a business side of it, from my side of it, if you like. But for me, there's no reason to be ripping people off. There's no reason to be ripping customers off, and I feel like there's a stigma attached to the industry that I've fallen in love with because of some rogues that did it the wrong way. We still need cars. Majority of the people viewing this will not be able to live without a vehicle.
Yeah.
So if we're fair and everyone's got a fair playing field, we can still make money as an industry, and customers can be comfortable in purchasing them. And yeah, that's what my mission is, to just give people some clarity, be honest, and make it a bit of a cleaner industry so it survives, basically.
What would you say is a good reason to never want to own a car?
Because they depreciate. Like if I said to you, here's this house, it's $250,000, but it's going to be worth $2,000 by the time you're ready to sell it and retire in an island somewhere. You think I was an idiot. Why would you want to sell me that? So it's the same thing. I don't get why people want to buy and own a vehicle in this day and age, unless the only caveat I'll put in that is if you are going to keep it and run it into the ground. So if you're buying a car that's nearly new, a year old, and you know you're going to keep it until it's got 150 miles on the clock, then more power to you. But if you know that realistically in 3-4 years time you're going to want to change it, what are you doing? It doesn't make sense. You wouldn't invest your life savings into a house that could potentially depreciate, that you want to live in for 3 years. You'd keep it long term, you'd rent it out, you'd wait for the market to be right, and then you'd sell it. But the market's never going to be right with a car. They changed the rules, they changed the legislations. A few years ago, everyone wanted diesel cars because diesel was seen as more economical, better for the environment. The government changed things, they moved the rules, and now people are coming out of diesel cars and they're trying to get me into other cars because it's going to cost them more money to tax, to run, and just to drive down the road in London and other places because the car's diesel. So it's not a safe place to put your money.
What would you say for somebody who wants to get a good deal on a car? That somebody could be me, because to be honest, the car. So I bought a car very, very recently. Very old car, didn't pay a lot of money for it, but the way I viewed it is because my income is about to be very unpredictable. I at least wanted to know that I have a car in case I need to jump in it and go somewhere. So I didn't paid like under $2,000 for it, and I said, let me just have that. But if I wanted, I guess, for the next car to lease, and I want to get a good deal, what 3 questions do I kind of need to go in and ask?
Firstly, you need to ask what my website is. It's carbuyandgiver.co.uk.
There you go.
That's question number 1. You come see us. Question number 2 would be, how long do you want to keep the car for? Would you ask yourself or ask the dealer?
Well, I guess it's questions I need to ask myself, but questions that a dealer would probably ask me as well.
So how long do you want to keep the car for, and how many miles you'd want to do per year, and also what your budget is. They'd be the main 3 things to look at when leasing. Reason being, the term of the contract is going to be the term. The mileage is capped, so you need to know roughly how many miles you're going to be doing. If you go over your mileage, then it will cost you a certain amount of pence per mile, depending on the agreement. So you need to sort of know what you're doing or what you're going to do beforehand. You can usually adjust it during the term, but it's best to go in there. If you know you're going to do 10,000 miles, then don't try and be cheap, because it's a bit cheaper to do it over 8,000 miles, because it's going to cost you more in the long run. And then your budget will help the supplier gauge where they what type of vehicle you'll be able to get into. So if you tell me you want a Audi Q5 and you want to spend £150 a month, I can tell you that it's not going to happen.
Damn it. Now, assuming that I go into the dealership and their main priority is not trying to get me the best deal, what could I ask to ensure that at least I'm going into things a bit more aware of.
If you shouldn't visit a dealership until you are aware. That's what I advise. I'd say the key part, visiting the dealer and buying the vehicle could actually be and is actually the easiest part of the process. People just go in there too soon. They need to be armed. You need to know the information beforehand, because a good salesperson will be able to talk you into any vehicle at any price on the right day. Whereas if you know what's really going on the market, you know what deals are out there, etc., then you can go in there and they won't be able to talk you into anything because you're too smart. Basically, you're clued up. So that's the way around it. You need to do your research and know what you're talking about. And essentially, that's what we provide, is that if you don't want to do it yourself, we can do it for you. But there's enough information out there that we are providing as well, that if you do want to do your own research, we can tell you the things you need to know prior to visiting the dealership.
Let's say I am new to buying cars. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is probably still me, I'll be honest. Do you have anything that would help somebody who's completely, new to this whole process and feels like they need some guidance?
I'll say our social media. So at Car Buying Guru UK on Instagram, we post a lot of information on there. Got a couple of videos on YouTube, Car Buying Guru UK on YouTube. But the guide we have coming out in the next couple of weeks, or it'll be out by the time you see this, will literally give you from the point of, I think I want to buy a car, to, okay, I've driven away in my amazing new car and I've got the best deal. It'll give you all the information you need to know. It will tell you where you need to go online, or the thing you need to search for online to get that. It's got a jargon buster in there, so it will tell you some of the terms that they may throw at you in a dealership that you might not know. It will tell you how to prepare your car if you have already got one and you want to part exchange it. We try. What I've done with the book is I've tried to put myself in the position of customers I've dealt with over the last 6 years, and sort of think about what I would have told that person to do, what I would have been asked or not been asked that I should have been asked when I was in the dealership. Put it all in a short guide and given it to them to use, and it really is beneficial, because there's not much wiggle room for a dodgy car salesman or woman to use against you if you are armed with that information. And plus, it'll put them on a back step, because they'll know if you ask certain things or you say certain things, or you know what your part exchange is worth, they won't try and rob you, basically.
Well, cool. I think that answers all my questions. However, if you guys watching have any questions, please do leave them below. I'm going to get the Car Buying Guru himself to answer your comments personally.
Will do,
and check out all the links in the description box. There'll be a link to the guide, a link to the website and social channels. I would definitely say check out the social channels, because what I love whenever I see one of your posts come up on my feed is like seeing videos from actual customers. So you can't. I mean, there's no better testimonial than that.
They're not lying.
It's not fake. Then promise. You might see a video from me there one day. I am looking to upgrade once I've sorted my living situation out, so I'll definitely hit you up. And thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
It's an amazing platform, I must say.
No, we just deliver what the people want.
Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
But also check out the Grown Folks podcast, because by the time you see this, we'll have recorded an episode where we'll be having a bit more of a personal chat about life, business, and all the juicy stuff that we haven't really covered on here. So I'll link that down below as well. If you want to find out more about Gavin and his story, then you can have a listen there. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Gavin for coming on.
No problem.
And I will see you guys in my next video. right?